Hi guys, today we're going to talk about standard deviation. So in class, we talked about mean and mean absolute deviation. Mean is the average, and mean absolute deviation will tell us how spread the data is. So if the number of mean absolute deviation was big, that means the data is more spread out. If the mean standard deviation was small, that means the data is more clustered, okay? So there's another way to measure the spread of the data, which is called standard deviation. And the good thing about this is you don't have to do it by hand. Actually, you can use your graphing calculator to calculate the standard deviation. And even mean can be calculated using your graphing calculator. So let's take a look at this graphing calculator. All you need to do, okay, first of all, you need to press the stat button. Stat button is right next to X. You press that. You press edit number 1. Then you will see the list of numbers, list 1, list 2, list 3, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these numbers into list 1. And then we're going to calculate the mean and standard deviation. Okay, so go to Stat, Edit, and then you will see L1. Now you're going to put the data in. So 92, press Enter. 93, press Enter. 98, press Enter. 88, 75, 64, 70, 100. Then 50. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. And my last list of number, you see the little 9, that means that's the 9th number is 50. So we put all the numbers in the data. If you put the wrong numbers on the list, you're not going to be able to calculate the correct mean and standard deviation. So make sure you always check to see if you put the numbers correctly. All right, then what we're going to do, we're going to calculate the mean and standard deviation. So we press Stat, and then you see Calc, so you press right arrow, and then you see 1 var stat. Okay, then you will see set of numbers here. Do you see X with a bar on the top? That is the mean. That always tells the mean. Okay, then where's the standard deviation? Do you see this teardrop looking? Okay, that one is the standard deviation. This is lowercase sigma, and lowercase sigma will give us the standard deviation. So we don't have to do anything by hand. You can just put everything in your calculator and calculator do the work. Okay, so what was the mean again? Mean was 81. So we're going to put the numbers here. So mean was 81. Okay, and what was the standard deviation? Standard deviation was 16. Okay. Then what does standard deviation tell us about? So standard deviation will tell us how the data is spread out. So usually if you look at this is called the bell curve, and then right in the middle of the bell curve is the mean. That's 81. Okay. And that means most of the scores are very, very close to 81, okay? Now, what does standard deviation represent? So if the standard deviation is 16, that means most of data, okay, will be closer to 81, okay? So if you look at it, what we're going to do is, in order to figure out the number right to the right, that means we have to add 16 to 81. If you add 16 to 81, it's going to be 97, correct? If you're adding 16 again, it's going to be 113. We never have 113 as a score, but we're going to just write it down for mathematically right now, and we'll talk about it later. Now, if you go to the left side of the bell curve, if average is 81, how do you figure out the one standard deviation lower to 81? What we need to do is just subtract 81 minus 16, which is 65. Okay, and then next one, we're subtracting 16 again. That's going to be 49. Okay, and then if you subtract 16 again, that means 33. Okay, so this is the first standard deviation. If you go to one positive standard deviation, you add standard deviation. If this is second standard deviation, then you just add 16 again. All right. All right. Now, then let's pause and let's actually figure out the second one. All right. So actually, let's grab a calculator again. Now make sure, now we're going to do it together. So you need to grab your calculator if you haven't done that. Okay. So let's go back to stat button and then you press edit. Now you will see all the numbers that I put in before. So how do I clear this? If I want to clear the list, I do L1, go all the way up so that L1 is highlighted. And then you press clear and press enter. Okay. If you need to pause the video, if you need to rewind the video to see all these calculator functions, please do that. It is really important that you understand how to do it. Okay. So let's take a look at the next one. This time, let's grade John's algebra grade for third quarter. Okay. So this was 81 actually. So I'm going to put all the data in. Why don't you pause the video and put all the information? Go ahead and put all the 9 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So go ahead and put 9 numbers and then you can start the video. Please pause the video right now. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to stat, calc. You're going to calculate 1 var stat, press enter. Then do you see this time the mean is 81? Oh, so they happen to have same mean, which is 81. Okay. But this time the standard deviation is 4.58. So we're going to round to the whole number. I'm going to round to the whole number. So it's going to be 5. Okay. Let's create a bell curve and let's compare John's grade with Chris's grade. Okay. So as you see, again, 81 is the mean. So we're going to put that right in the middle. That's 81. That was average. Now, how do you put first standard deviation? We add 5. So 81 plus 5 is 86. Okay? If you're adding 5 again, that's a second standard deviation. That means you're adding 91. And then 96. Okay? Now, how about the negative standard deviation? If you go to -1 standard deviation, what do I need to do? I subtract 5 from 81. So 81 minus 5 will be 76. And then I subtract 5 again, which is 72. You can subtract 5 again from that, 67. Okay? Now, if you take a look at them, okay, if you compare Chris's scores with John's grade, what do you know about them? What is the similarities between John's grade and Chris's grade? What do you see? They have same average. So they have same mean, which is same average. Okay? So if you are looking at their grade book, their average will be the same. But what's the difference between John's grade and Chris's grade? If you don't even look at the standard deviation, just compare these scores. What do you see? Do you see even though mean is 81, Chris's grade is all over the place. He got some 100, then he got some 50, and then 64, and then some 90s. So his data is very, very spread out all over the place. But if you look at John's grade, okay, if John's, even though John's average is 81, his grade is more clustered to 81. It's very, very close to 81. Most of his scores are closer to 81. Okay, now do you see this? Chris's standard deviation is 16, right? And John's standard deviation is 5. Whose standard deviation is bigger? Chris's standard deviation is 16. It's bigger, correct? What does that mean? His data is more spread out. So John has, we can just write, you can write it in your word, but I can just write John's grade is more spread out because he has higher standard deviation. Does that make sense to you? So really, the standard deviation will tell you about the spread, okay? And the bigger standard deviation it is, it's gonna be more spread out, all right? Okay, so now what I want you to do is, once I'm gonna stop the video, everyone, your homework is to finish the back page by yourself. This is very same thing. All you need to do is you just need to clear the memory and then go back and then put all the numbers in and figure out the mean and standard deviation. Remember, mean will calculate the average of the scores and standard deviation will calculate how spread it is. Okay, so please stop the video and we'll do more practice in class, but make sure if you need to watch the video again, please do that. All right, see ya.